Sex, if it's practiced in a conscious, intentional way, it can be tremendously healing, tremendously pleasurable, tremendously beneficial to your personal growth and development. Welcome, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. If you want to learn more about sexual and self-mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and go live. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. In this video, I want to give an overview of sexual energy cultivation, what it is, what it really means, how to do it, what are the different purposes for doing it, what are the applications of it. The sexual kung fu system comes from the Taoist tradition. The Taoists were basically like the spiritual scientists of ancient China. And they developed all kinds of sexual practices working with the sexual energy, working with the sexuality, working with orgasm, the sexual fluids of the body in ways that can help to optimize your health, personal healing, enhance your creativity, your spiritual path, deepen your relationships with others, and deepen your relationship with yourself. So everyone loves sex. I think it's safe to say. Humans in general tend to be pretty obsessed with sex, but it's often a very fleeting experience for us. It's often actually very unfulfilling for most people overall, the way that they're engaging in sex, because ultimately sex and our sexuality, it can be a double-edged sword. When done improperly, it can be something that really drains our vitality, is damaging to our emotional, spiritual, mental, physical health in extreme cases. But if it's done harmoniously, if it's practiced in a conscious, intentional way, it can be tremendously healing, tremendously pleasurable, tremendously beneficial to your personal growth and development. And it was really the nature of the ancient Taoists to take a process, something very, very natural, even like mundane part of our daily life, take a natural process and basically optimize it to generate the most energy from, to generate the highest benefit from. And that's what they did with the correct practice of sex and sexuality. This sexual energy that we all have is this prime creative force. It's this base driving energy that's actually running a lot of aspects of our life. And most people don't realize how much is driving them to make a lot of the decisions they make, to have the career they have so they can make a certain amount of money, to try to appeal to the opposite sex and hopefully get laid, right? It's kind of this deeply ingrained thing within our psyche, and we don't realize often how many decisions we're making, how many actions we're taking, because on a deep level, we just want to get laid. And not to say that there's anything right or wrong with this, it's just it's human nature. But when you really look at how powerful this force is, I mean, think about what has it driven you to do in your life? You know, what actions have you taken? You know, how long have you spent chasing a partner, sitting around for hours watching porn, whatever? This is the force it has in driving you, in gluing you, and bonding you to certain things. Now, if you can take that force and redirect it into beneficial things, redirect it into your creativity, your success in life, your abundance, your relationships, redirect it into becoming the highest version of yourself, then you can see the power that sexual cultivation has. And this is really the purpose of it. Sexual energy, it makes whatever's already there, it makes it amplified. When you put it into a loving relationship, that loving relationship becomes even more connected, even more loving, right? And of course, if you put it into anger and hatred, it feeds that fire as well. So this is the thing to understand about sexual energy. And this is one of the reasons why we work with it, because with the right training and the right usage of it, we can make incredible things happen in our mind, in our bodies, and in our daily lives, and in the world around us when we learn how to harness our sexual energy properly. And it's about redirecting this force into more than just, you know, physical sex or procreation. Obviously, we're not all trying to make children every day, right? So there's a lot more potential to sexual energy than just procreation. There's a higher purpose for this sexual drive than just that. When we remember that, we can start to reconnect our sexual center to the other energy centers of the body, and we can start to channel this sexual energy into other outlets. We can channel it into greater creativity, better health, a more disciplined, concentrated mind, more fulfilling relationships, a deeper spiritual path. These are all some of the things that we can put the energy into. So in this section, I'm going to focus on why would someone want to practice sexual cultivation in this modern world. I think most simple thing and most obvious is to have a much better sex life, a much better sexual experience. For most people, there's so much trauma, there's so much self-judgment and shame and just weird feelings about sexuality. Like a lot of people feel like they're not getting enough, or people have been traumatized by past sexual experiences. In general, from what I've has seen, most people are very unfulfilled by sex, and it's this very fleeting experience in their life. So through practicing sexual cultivation, you can transform that into sex being this very, very fulfilling experience where you feel full, you feel satisfied, you feel overflowing with this blissful orgasmic energy that spreads throughout your daily life. It radiates throughout your being, throughout your personality. So one of the number one benefits to sexual cultivation is better sex. Of course, the practices of sexual kung fu involve men being able to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, multiple orgasms, experience full body orgasm. Basically, your experience of sex becomes greatly intensified and enhanced. Another good reason to practice sexual cultivation is that it can dramatically improve your health. As I mentioned before, if sex is done improperly, it can be very depleting, especially for men, because one of the biggest drains on a man's life force is excessive ejaculation. Semen is the essence of a man's body. It takes so many resources for the body to be constantly producing sperm. So to just be recklessly spending this outward is literally throwing your life force down the drain, and it can lead to accelerated aging. It can lead to disruptions in the endocrine system, and because we live in a world full of stress and toxicity, a lot of things working against us. Basically, anything you can do to build up some extra energy to enhance the function of your mind and body is going to tremendously benefit you. And this is one of the greatest things about sexual cultivation, is you're connecting with this pure creative energy. That's what your sexual energy is, this life force. The sperm represents that ability to grow an entire human body out of a few cells. It's tremendous creative power, rejuvenative power, but most men are just discarding this energy recklessly. So by practicing sexual cultivation, you learn to rebuild your core energy, learn to build your sexual energy, and then you learn how to circulate the essence of your sperm, circulate your sexual energy through your body, which rejuvenates the endocrine system. It enhances the function of your body, increases your energy levels, and it makes you feel much more youthful, even into old age. It's a very, very powerful way to increase your longevity. And also, having sex in the proper way is very, very beneficial to our emotional, our physical, mental, spiritual health. We were meant to experience orgasm, and orgasm has tremendous healing power. On a physiological level, it increases blood cell count, white blood cells specifically, improves your immune system. When you're experiencing sexual pleasure and orgasm consistently, it's enhancing your cellular reproduction process, which is inherently an internal sexual process. It's like cellular sex happening 24/7. So when you live a life with an abundant amount of sexual pleasure and orgasm, your body resonates with that, and it improves the ability of your cells to properly multiply, and improves your DNA replication functions as well. In fact, in ancient China, they had a whole branch of medical practice, which was medical sexology, where they would prescribe certain lovemaking positions to couples. Do this position, 9 thrusts, shallow, 1 deep, do that 9 times, 3 times a day, right? Where it was literally people were prescribed sex to heal certain conditions. Another powerful benefit of sexual cultivation is that it can really amplify your spiritual path. In fact, this is one of the best kept secrets of a lot of internal cultivation systems, specifically the tantric systems, and of course the Taoist internal alchemy, was that the sexual energy, the essence of the sexual generative fluids, is extracted and combined with other energies within the body to create an alchemical elixir, enhancing the function of your glands, opening up the higher energy centers of the body. And basically, your sexual energy can be this combustive agent that amplifies your connection with the spirit world, amplifies and accelerates your spiritual progress. Because this is a big problem a lot of people run into on spiritual paths, is that I'm doing meditation, I'm doing my spiritual work, kumbaya, but I'm still jerking off to Pornhub every single night. So you create this split, and that still being stuck in that lustful experience of sex, it pulls you back down. It creates this split between your spirit and your body, which ultimately gets you stuck in the long run. And I see this in a lot of people, and this is a pattern I had myself. So being able to integrate your sexual experience with your spiritual path is incredibly powerful. It enhances your ability to problem solve, to come up with solutions, and to just create things in your life. When your sexual energy is flowing freely through your body, you become very creative, and it unlocks your inner genius. Sexual cultivation also can massively improve your performance. Whether you're an athlete, a martial artist, whatever it is, when you're building up the sexual energy, it gives you more drive, it gives you more physical power. It gives you more vitality and virility. And there's a reason why a lot of athletes would abstain from sex for weeks before their competitions. But the thing is, you don't have to abstain from sex. For men, you just have to learn to have sex without ejaculating so you can contain that essence in your body. And now for the final part of this video, I want to kind of break down the more practical aspects of sexual cultivation, like what's involved. So first of all, there's what's known as solo cultivation. This is kind of the preparatory work where you're just working with your own sexual energy in your own body, getting familiar with how it works and how to enhance its function and its connection with the other bodily functions. So this basically comes down to managing your own sexual energy. For men, it means not just, ejaculating all over the place every day, learning to redirect your sexual drive, lustful urges, your horniness, learning to contain that within your body, change the form of it as you circulate it internally through the energy channels of the body. It starts to become this more refined, creative, loving energy. And that's how you can sustain a practice of semen retention, is you learn how to meditate, you learn how to circulate your energy throughout your body to contain it, to ground it, and to kind of take the rough edges off it, so to speak. And there's also direct practices of working with your sexual energy, such as, self-stimulation, self-massage practices. The sexual organs have all these reflexology zones on them that connect to other areas of the body. It's actually extremely beneficial to have sexual stimulation regularly. If you have a partner, that's great, but even if you're single, you can self-pleasure and develop this loving connection with your body, and that starts to activate your aroused sexual energy. For men, you learn how to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, learn how to channel that arousal into other areas of the body, to hold the charge and transform it into this spiritual, creative, driving force in your life. And then there's the path of dual cultivation. So after you do the work, you understand how to open up your body and prepare yourself for the heightened currents of energy, which sexual energy becomes, this higher voltage energy, then you're prepared to cultivate with a partner. So sex becomes much more conscious and intentional. Sex is just kind of this blind rush for orgasm. Like, okay, let's just do this, baby. And then, it's over with. And for men, they often lose their energy at the end, so they don't gain as much as they could. So instead of that just animalistic, quick thrusting to get it over with, you learn how to connect with your partner on a deeper level. You learn how to tune in together, get harmonized with each other, open up your energy centers, open up your partners, and then you build this charge of sexual energy together. You build this arousal, you build up the orgasm in both of your bodies, and then you circulate that together, you connect it, and it generates this powerful healing force, this powerful energy current that you generate between two of you. It's much more than either one could generate on their own, and you're able to exchange, bring this throughout your bodies, through your energy channels. You can bring it into various areas of the body for healing, for enhancement, and at the end you store and collect that sexual energy that you've generated together. And after you end a session like that, you're charged up, you feel good, you feel connected, you have creative energy, you feel inspired, you feel open in your heart. And that is what sex is meant to be for us, this healing, harmonious, creative, inspiring force. So that's kind of an overview of sexual cultivation, kind of the why and a little bit of like what's involved. If you want to really go into depth in this is what sexual kung fu is all about. In the sexual kung fu system, basically we start with preparing the mind and body. So clearing out negative emotional patterns, limiting beliefs, clearing out energy blockages, and then learning to circulate our energy, opening up the energy channels, grounding the energy, and then introducing our sexual energy into this process, learning to circulate sexual energy, learning to feel orgasm throughout the body. For men, learning to have non-ejaculatory orgasms and have sex as long as you want, to capture the charge at the end of sex rather than releasing it. And then you learn how to do this with a partner. So if you want to train in the sexual kung fu system, check out some of my programs that are available. Find more information through the link in the description of this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments below, what's the #1 area of your life that's benefited from sexual cultivation? I'd love to hear. That's it. Take care, my friends.